Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome to a blood splattered stream. Today we are going to be testing my new audio interface, the Rode Streamer X, and yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. Now let me get the chat all set up now that we have done our introductions. Oh man! All right, switch chat over to live chat. That'll be nice. Let's see. Go over here. Let's see. Copy that. Hey, Kevin L, how are you doing? Let's see. Bam. Do that. Put that right there. There we go. Alrighty then. So how's everyone doing out there, out in the world? Are you interested in Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls? Yeah, I actually donated to that campaign back when it started. Hey PSI, how you doing? Hey Neon Ghost Wolf. Hey Kevin L. Are you excited for the Nun 2? I'm absolutely excited for the Nun 2. Well, to be fair, I wasn't a huge fan of most of those Conjuring spinoffs, but sometimes they're entertaining in their own right. All right, let's see what's going on here. Okay, tweeting out the stream. That would be a appropriate thing to do. Dun, 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 dun. All right, how's the music to my voice? Is it a good balance right now, or is one too overpowering? Let me know. Onyx will be in theaters this fall. Fuck yeah, can't wait. Hey Mega Sith, how you doing? All right, tweeted that out. Nice balance. Excellent. This new audio interface came with this like streaming mixer software that I'm kind of playing around with right now, which is pretty cool. And I'm trying to find the right balance because it like separates what goes into my headphones and what goes into the stream. So I'm trying to make sure I got it all right. Obviously right now I just have the music in my voice, so it's very simple to figure that out, and if I have more things going on, it'll be more complicated. Will you see The Passenger starring Kyle Gallner? Most likely. I enjoy Kyle Garner films. Right now I'm trying to figure out, because there's been a lot of confusion on social media as to what content creators like myself who review new releases, what we should and shouldn't do in light of the SAG/WGA strike going on right now. And we've been getting mixed answers to that, so it's entirely possible going forward for the next couple months I'm going to be mainly covering like new foreign horror movie releases or older movies from like a couple years ago. We shall see. Right now it's kind of pending because we've been getting really mixed answers from the unions. As to what people like me who are non-union don't work for any of the stuck companies, are self-published and just do reviews on our own what we're supposed to do, because we don't technically fall under the journalist category, but we also don't neatly fall under the influencer category. And those are the two answers we keep getting is for influencers and for journalists. So we're like, well, what do we do? What's the answers for us, for self-published content creators on YouTube or people who do podcasts? What are we supposed to do? And we're just trying to figure it out. Did you ever attend film school and attempt to make short films yourself? Yes, I actually went to college at film school. And I made plenty of short films while I was in college. None of them are online right now, I don't think. Not anymore. Yeah, I saw the dead meat response from Karl. The complicated thing is that Karl is technically a member of the Writers Guild, and the Writers Guild has been a lot more clear about this than the Actors Guild has been about this answer. And so what Karl said 100% aligns with what the WGA has been saying, but it's kind of in conflict with what the Screen Actors Guild has been saying. So we're trying to figure out what that answer is. And dead meat's also in a very interesting situation compared to a lot of us, because dead meat, they actually are a part of SAG. So they actually have a much more complicated realm to maneuver than someone like me who's just a self-published non-union content creator. Yeah, I actually do have live chat on from what I can see, but I have no way of actually turning live chat on for this little window right now for you guys to see, and I feel really bad about that. I don't know how to fix that. I need to find a better way to get YouTube chat into here than to just directly link it, because it won't let me turn the live chat on there. But I can see the live chat right now through my OBS, so I can see all your responses. Hello, Raven. How you doing? Let's see. What's your favorite Batman movie? Ooh. Probably The Batman right now. That's probably my favorite Batman movie. It really shows how outdated Hollywood is in regards to digital content. Yeah, because what we're having right now is a failure of communication and a failure of language. Because the industry as a whole kind of looks at content creation online and just uses the blanket term influencer. But an influencer is actually more of a specific thing. An influencer is an online content creator who sells things that were promoted by companies and sells products. Think the Instagram model who will show you this new line of makeup that she was paid to promote. That is technically what an influencer is. But there's this weird gray realm of people who make content but don't sell things for companies, that just make independent content, like me reviewing movies that we paid for on our own dime to go see in theaters or on streaming. And they don't actually know what to do with us right now, and so hence the confusion. They're remaking Return of the Living Dead. What do you think? That's going to be a hard sell. Some movies are so of their time, you're going to have to really sell me on how you're going to update it, because Return of the Living Dead is so 80s. It doesn't really make as much sense outside of the 80s, so we'll see. Are you a fan of the Human Centipede movies? Yes, I adore the Human Centipede movies. The first one's probably my favorite, but I do adore the second and third one for how fucked up they get. Hey, Ralph, how you doing? Well, as a content creator, what do you think about the arguments from people who are saying that the writers and actors should suck it up? I think those people can kick rocks. Writers and actors are screwed over all the time in the film industry, and there's a reason why they have the unions in the first place, to protect them from exploitation from these big companies. And these companies are just going to exploit them further, because here's the thing. One of the reasons why the Directors Guild was able to reach an agreement with the companies, whereas the Actors and the Writers Guild have not, is because for a director, the immediate threat of AI isn't as intense. But for a writer, for an actor, the immediate threat of AI is very clear. Because if you're an actor, they can copy your appearance and then own your appearance for God knows how long. And then they don't even need to hire you anymore. They can just copy your appearance and your voice and then use you to sell shit and put you in movies without paying you a cent. That's a huge legitimate threat of AI for an actor. And there's a similar threat for a writer. They can start copying your scripts, throwing them into a large language model and having them regurgitate out scripts that sound similar. Or make that the initial script they use and then pay you less to rewrite the script and make it work. So either way, as a writer, you get screwed. Either they're copying your work and regurgitating it out with an AI model, or you are being paid less to give notes and to fix broken AI scripts. Either way, it's not good for you. So that's why the Screen Actors Guild and that's why the Writers Guild of America are both the ones on strike right now, whereas the Directors Guild, they're not as concerned about being replaced with AI, even though they fucking should be, because they don't need directors if you just completely create all content via AI. But I don't think the directors realize how immediate that threat is the way writers and actors feel right now. The Actors Guild even came out and basically said that they were offered this really shitty deal to where like they can copy your appearance from when you were a extra on set, pay you like $100 and copy your appearance and then use you in whatever they want going forward, which means that if you become a major star at some point, they can just start recreating that because they already own you from when you were an extra. Not to mention, they don't need to hire you for extra work if they just make all extras AI models now. There's also that problem. That's the other thing that a lot of people don't understand about these strikes. A majority of the people working in Hollywood are not the glamorous rich people like Kanye West. A majority of people working in Hollywood are the grunt workers, the people building sets, the people writing scripts that never get made because they're going from job to job, on project to project, and the studio keeps dropping it. And actors that are basically just extras and make a couple dollars doing extra work until they can find their big break. A lot of people working in Hollywood are just workers like anyone else. And these unions are there to protect them as well as the major celebrities. And the thing that benefits the unions of having the major celebrities in them is because the major celebrities are great faces for selling the union's stance on things. Have you seen Justified? Yeah, I've seen Justified. Oh yeah, Joan is Awful is 100% a great breakdown of the dystopian future that awaits actors and shit. Ron fucking Perlman is only worth $8 million. Yeah, Ron Perlman now is. Ron Perlman fucking 40 years ago was not worth $8 million and was just a struggling actor trying to make it in the biz. And there's a million Ron Perlmans 40 years ago that exist in Hollywood right now. And not all of them are going to have Ron Perlman success. Dr. Giggles or The Dentist? The Dentist. I'm a huge fan of The Dentist. Hey, Victor Necrofunk. The protesters are really going to have to be in it for the long haul. Yep, 100%. Like I'm predicting this is going to take a couple months at the bare minimum before the studios start to really fucking buckle under the weight of it. Because when it was just the writers, they could greenlight a whole bunch of like reality shows. They could do a whole bunch of shit that didn't necessarily require writers or start filming things that have incomplete scripts. But without screen actors, they're kind of screwed on almost all fronts. So, oh, and also with the Screen Actors Guild on strike, that now means if you're going to do like a reality show gig, non-union, you're technically being a scab. So there's now a disincentive for people to take those reality show jobs. So yeah, they're gonna, if they weren't hurting before because of the writers, they're gonna fucking suffocate without the actors. And in the meantime, the two guilds, they just need to, stay strong. And that's not even getting into the guilds that might go on strike in the days to come, because there's other smaller guilds within the industry that are also trying to reach negotiations right now. So we shall see. Wyatt Russell. I love Wyatt Russell. That guy's fun. Hey, Kaiju Z. Looking for recommendations. Do you know any good period horror films? I can only think of two, Crimson Peak and Season of the Witch. It depends upon like what period you're talking about. Like someone just mentioned Wyatt Russell. Overlord is set in World War II. That's a great period horror film. I saw the videos of Disney doing the Haunted Mansion premiere at Disneyland with the director and the Disneyland cast members. Oh man, those cast members I don't know if they realize that they're technically scabbing by doing that, but I think a lot of them are really glad they're wearing costumes. I'll put it that way. Great information. I'm glad it can help, Nice Man. The Curse is a good period horror film. Yeah, it is. The werewolf one with the Romani genocide followed by the werewolves. That's a really great movie. It does have a little bit of that what do you call it? Like the Romani can put a curse on you kind of problematic element, but if you can look past that, it's actually a really good movie. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. That's a fun one. There you go. There you go. Eggers the Witch is a great period horror. Agreed. Just get Wyatt Russell's face on every actor to make more films during the strike. Everyone's Wyatt Russell. It's just Wyatt Russell. Oh, Ralph, what was your question? Hold on, let me go back. I probably missed it while I was scrolling by. Let me tell us about a horror movie that you hated when you watched it for the first time and then changed your opinion dramatically after watching it again. I swear there was a movie with that like that recently, but I'm trying to think of what it was. Damn, what's a good example of that? I'm honestly not sure off the top of my head, but I know I've had that experience. I've had that experience of not liking a horror movie when it's released and then years later down the line going back to it and going like, this wasn't so bad. But I'm having a complete brain fart right now onto which horror movies that was. You know the guy who directed The Curse? Nice. That's cool. I hope there's at least a few big stars, writers, and directors to help with those during tough times because California is expensive. All right, here's some more information for those of you who don't know how the unions work. The unions, part of the thing you pay, when you pay your dues into these unions, into the Writers Guild, into the Screen Actors Guild, and the Directors Guild, part of those dues go to a fund. And that fund is used during strike times to help feed and to keep people on the picket lines and make sure that people don't lose their apartments and shit. That fund is also, you can also donate to that fund. And many of the guilds on their websites will have like donation links to where you can donate to those funds to help people get fed on the picket lines and to help people keep their houses and their apartments during the strike times. There's a lot of like anti-union propaganda that a lot of us Americans grew up with, where it's just like, oh, they take money out of your paycheck and they screw you over or whatever. Well, a lot of times that money is literally for things like this. It's to A, keep the union afloat, and to B, make sure when there is strikes, you do not starve and you do not go homeless. Oh, The Mist is a great movie. Weird thing, Brad Pitt was at the Wimbledon men's final today. I guess he isn't part of SAG. I don't know if the Wimbledon men's final counts as a SAG like event. But mainly what an actor can't do right now is they can't go and directly promote a movie that they're involved with. So if he was at the Wimbledon trying to sell the new Brad Pitt movie, and like there was a bunch of ads saying, go see the new movie in theaters, then yeah, he's probably breaking the SAG contract. But if he's just going to Wimbledon just to go to Wimbledon and just to be there, and he was pointed out in the crowd, that's a different story. That I don't think that breaks any rules. Exactly, that's just a sports event. If he's specifically at the sports event selling a movie, he can't do that. But if he's just at the sports event enjoying the event and people are like, hey, it's Brad Pitt, that's not an issue. So, And sometimes actors are encouraged to go to events like that in order to sell the strike. So sometimes you're going to see some of these actors showing up at things like sporting events to talk about the strike. It's one of those, they want the actors to continue to be public facing, but they don't want the actors to sell movies right now. Isn't the whole Romani curse thing only a bad thing if you use it as a Christian getting cursed rather than an old religion follower taking revenge? Well, it's complicated. And it obviously is going to depend for every Romani person. And as someone who's not Romani, I can't speak for them at all. But from what I understand it, some Romani people really do not like that overall implication that just because they're Romani, they have some sort of devil magic in them. You know, they have some sort of evil magic curse. It's kind of like the Native American burial ground trope. A lot of a Native American burial ground tropes in movies are usually white people getting comeuppance for the way they treated Native American people back in the day. But even with that context, the Native American burial ground trope is problematic because A, it associates Native American people with magic curses and things like that, and B, there's no such thing as a Native American burial ground. It kind of lumps all people in with this thing. And the Romani curse thing is in a similar boat. Some Romani people don't mind it. They like the implication, like, hey, like, yeah, fuck you. If you cross me, I'll curse you. But many others do not like that stereotype. And so even using it in the context of that movie, in which it is specifically white colonizers fucking over the Romani people and genociding them, and then facing a curse as a result of that, it still carries with it that implication that Romani people can curse you and that Romani people have this dark magic. So it's messy and complicated, and every Romani person's going to give you a different answer. But overall, it's usually pretty safe to assume that it's a little problematic, and we can probably lay the trope to rest for now. Yeah, what John's saying. Oh, voodoo, that's another big one. And that one's messed up because people like just misrepresent how voodoo even works. Same thing with Romani beliefs. Hey, Guru, I have a question a little far from the content of your channel. Do you believe in the jinn and black magic and demons where the human body? Sorry, my English is not good. Okay, if you're asking me if I believe in those things, no. I am very much the stereotype of the angry American atheist who doesn't believe in any of that stuff. But if you're asking me about like a specific use of the jinn trope, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have much. Nice cup of piss here. Yeah, this is tea. It's green tea, but yeah, cup of piss. If you're asking me about like specific uses of the jinn trope and stuff, I don't know enough about it to really give good answers. There's been a couple jinn-based movies that I've really enjoyed, but I can't speak to them beyond the fact that I enjoyed them. Hopefully I'm making sense. Man, today we're getting the deep questions. As someone who is interested in making short films with practical effects, are there any books or media you'd recommend checking out? Most of the big like practical effects guys, the Tom Savinis and the people like that, some of them have books out there that you can check out. Some of them have videos that they've released that talk about stuff they've done and how they did it. Some books on the makings of movies will tell you how things were done, which is great. Like a lot of Bruce Campbell's books talk about what went into some of the effects on making the Evil Dead movies. So I don't have any specific recommendation, but Yeah, I don't have any specific recommendations, but you can. That information is definitely out there. What would a scenario in which Bender meets Master Shake look like? It would be the greatest scenario ever, and the world would implode from awesomeness. Have you ever seen the Russell Crowe Exorcist movie, The Pope's Exorcist? Yeah, I saw that movie. My feelings on The Pope's Exorcist are a little complicated. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie because Russell Crowe is so entertaining in that movie, and I love how bombastic and crazy it gets by the end of it. That being said, it is 100% Catholic propaganda. That is just straight up church propaganda, the movie. There's literally a point where they even tried to like justify the Spanish Inquisition, and like the Spanish Inquisition was a result of like, oh, well, one of our priests, they got possessed by the devil, and so that's why the Spanish Inquisition happened. So like it is just straight up Catholic propaganda, but it's entertaining Catholic propaganda. Make Your Own Damn Movie by Lloyd Kaufman is great. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good choice. Rebel. Oh God, what was it? God damn it. Robert Rodriguez's books are great. Rebel Without a Crew, I think is the name of it. That's a good one. Thank you for your answer, Mr. Guru. I appreciate that. No problem. I wish I could have been more insightful. House of the Dragon is still going on too. Okay, like for those of you who don't know why something like House of the Dragon continues to film despite the fact that there is a writers and a actor strike going on. So in terms of actors, the Screen Actors Guild is an American guild. And there are people from other countries that are part of the guild because they both make movies here and in their home countries. But if you're just an actor in the UK who doesn't make like American productions, you're not SAG. So they can still film with you. And what does House of the Dragon have a lot of? British actors. So that's how things like House of the Dragon keeps being filmed. Now here's the rub. Because they can't write anything, and because they're going to have to work around the actors who are SAG, there will 100% have to be reshoots when this is all over. Otherwise, they're going to have a mess on their hands when those seasons air. Ralph Ineson as the voice of the demon is the best too. Hell yeah. I heard that The Pope's Exorcist is like a dumb, fun horror movie. Yeah, it is very dumb and fun. I will give it that. Have you seen Dead Man's Shoes? No, I have not. Any good? Doctor Who is still filming. Yeah, because Doctor Who is not a SAG or a WGA covered thing. It is a British production with British actors and British writers. So it doesn't actually have to feel the ramifications of either strike. They just can't have like an American guest star. Like if you're a fan of British TV, there's not going to be a problem there. Same thing with Australia and many other countries with their own versions of Hollywood. Have you seen the movie The Secret of Emily Rose, and what did you think of it? I have not seen that, I don't think. It doesn't sound familiar. Yeah, SAG and WGA are American unions. Exactly. Leviathan, however, is a perfect example of practical effects going too far. They should have polished the CGI. Oh, yeah, the underground horror movie Leviathan, or the underwater, not underground, the underwater horror movie Leviathan from the 80s. Yeah, I know what you're talking about there. The main problem with that movie is it kind of like, they kind of shoot around their effects a little too much and you kind of wish you could see it more. Have you seen the Tubi movie, Dark Web Murder Show? No, I have not. I actually just watched a Tubi movie earlier today. It was called Cabin Girl. It was actually pretty good. It came out like a couple years ago, and it was about like this girl who is a social media influencer, and she decides to live the van life where she goes like moving across country in a van. Accidentally gets in this car accident and then suffers from amnesia, decides to move into this broken down cabin inside this town where she had the accident in. And then the movie gets really weird. But it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It very much has like vibes of like The Telltale Heart, which might be a bit of a spoiler, but yeah. Well, water is usually underground. I mean, technically, yeah, true. Yes, the guy from House of the Dragon is in it. The guy who directed Tyrannosaurus. Okay. Jonathan Goff is going to be a guest star in this new season of Doctor Who, but his scenes might have been filmed before the strikes. Most likely. Most likely, if you're going to have a guest star like that, it was probably filmed before the strike happened, because the strike literally just happened a couple days ago. So if they're already showing you footage of it, that means they filmed it. Paddy Constantine, that's what I'm thinking he's thinking of. He's in it. It's a revenge movie. It also has Toby Cabell in it. Nice. Okay. I'll have to check that out. Disney owns the streaming rights for the new series of Doctor Who, and that will help them throughout the... Yeah. Okay, so that's good. That's going to be something you're going to see a lot of in the coming weeks. You're going to see a lot of television networks taking a bunch of streaming shows and licensing them to air them in place of their own scripted content. You're going to see a lot of streaming networks taking a lot of foreign shows, Australian and British shows, and using them on their streaming content in lieu of their scripted content. Because there's little wiggle things they're going to do. It's not going to get them the kinds of profits that they are normally used to, but they're going to do things like that to try to compensate for the strike. But they're still going to be bleeding. Don't get it twisted. They're still going to be hemorrhaging money out the ass. And they're eventually, hopefully, going to have to give in. If I had a nickel every time I've made someone delete their Twitter after having an argument with me, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. Nice. Oh, the 2014 movie Leviathan. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. Anyone in chat watch that movie that revolves around girls possessed by demons? Her name is Emily Rose. Oh, okay, asking about that movie. Oh, man. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I've seen that movie. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I've seen that movie. That's a pretty good movie. That's an example of a movie made by a Christian creator that is very much, Christian, that I actually don't find particularly offensive as someone who's an atheist. I thought that was a pretty good movie overall. Scott Derrickson in general makes pretty good movies. Hey, you guys want to see something really cool that my new interface can do? Check this out.
I am the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's work.
Ain't that fun? Thank you, John. My dad, who is not a big horror fan, loved The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Yeah, I can see how that would be. One thing I like about The Exorcism of Emily Rose is it's one of those movies that's all about like that middle ground of trying to figure out the truth. I do have a soundboard. It's true. I can even like say, "You son." And of course, there's also
Hi guys, I'm the horror guru. How are you doing? Having a nice Sunday?
Jerry. I was actually having a date with Rachel the other night, a Discord date where we basically sit there and we watch movies and stuff. And in the middle of the date, I turned the board on and did the devil voice. She was so mad at me. She was like, "Where the fuck did that come from?" She loves the chipmunk voice, though. Horror Guru, what movie does this line of dialogue come from? Hey, you want to see something scary? Isn't that Pee-wee's Big Adventure? When was it what's her name? Is it like Large Marge or something? She drives the truck? No, fuck. It was the Twilight Zone. It was the Twilight Zone, wasn't it? Fuck. Revenge for the Chucky gag. Last night we were actually catching up on the new What We Do in the Shadows season. It's time for me to leave my enclosure and have some outside time. Enjoy, John. Enjoy your outside time, and thank you for tuning in. Scott Derrickson is one of my favorite directors. He started making the Hellraiser Inferno and The Day the Earth Stood Still. Yeah. The Day the Earth Stood Still is probably my least favorite film from him, but every other film he's made I've pretty much enjoyed. Hellraiser Inferno is one of the rare direct-to-video Hellraiser movies. It's actually pretty watchable. Also, was not intended to be a Hellraiser movie. That was just basically forced by Weinstein. What do you think of Return of the Living Dead 3? I love Return of the Living Dead 3. It's nothing like the other two movies, but that movie's precious. I'll say that. Was I the only one that shocked by the fact that SAG was being led by Fran Drescher? Yeah, I actually didn't know that until she started doing all the speaking engagements. That's pretty cool. Okay, what is the name of the application that changes your voice? It's not an application. It's actually, I bought a Rode Streamer X audio interface, and it has a soundboard on it. So it's hardware and not an application. But Rode Streamer X, that's the interface I have now. Emily Rose, Sinister, and the Black Phone to Doctor Strange. Yeah, those are great movies. Hell yeah. I look forward to anything Derrickson makes, especially when he teams up with Karl from Spill.com. I don't care what his name is. I'm going to keep calling him Karl. OG Spill fan here. Yeah, the new episodes of What We Do in the Shadows is fun. I'm so excited to see Guillermo as a proper vampire. Been waiting so many seasons for that. I'll say this, Fran is a great spokesperson for the guild. I love the 1-2 punch. You have the two leaders, you have Fran and the other guy whose name escapes me. And Fran would always come out and be like, "We're gonna burn their houses down," and then the other guy would be like the anger translator and be like, "And what we're trying to say is that eventually the guild is gonna have to give in to our demands." And it reminds me of the Obama anger translator skits from Key and Peele. Sounds like AI is advancing. Also, has anyone seen that video of Ron Perlman? Goddamn, the guy went old school mobster on everyone. I love it. I did not realize that Karl was a Spill originator. I know he's on Double Toasted from time to time. Yeah, yep. He was one of the original hosts on Spill.com. And now he guests on Double Toasted, which, for those of you who don't know, Double Toasted was originally Spill.com. And they used to do everything animated, and now they mainly do like in a podcast format. Horror Guru, do you think David Cronenberg should do a Dead Space movie? I don't know. I think someone with a love of David Cronenberg should make a Dead Space movie, but I don't know if David Cronenberg himself is right for a Dead Space movie. Dead Space needs to be a little bit more action-packed than Cronenberg usually goes. I think his most action-packed movie is probably Eastern Promises or A History of Violence, and even then they're not quite Dead Space action. Ron Perlman was just talking basic logic. Yeah, but the way he delivered that speech was like straight up a mobster, and I love it. And I know that's just the way he talks, right? Like, he just naturally has that voice. Laundry Day Blade is going to happen. Yeah, one day Blade will happen. Peace out. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. I hope I was able to answer your questions. Hellboy did put out a video. Yeah, that's Ron Perlman. The Ron Perlman I've been talking about, who like sounded like a mobster in his video, that's Hellboy. Oh, man. John Carpenter might be a better fit for a Dead Space movie, honestly. Though he hasn't made anything on that level of budget in a long time. So I'd be curious to see what he would do with a big budget. He's one of those filmmakers who, for most of his career, was used to doing a lot with a little. He's a master at it, actually. Blade's Laundry Day would probably be called Gardening Night. Have any of you played the game Midnight Suns, where you can help Blade with his crush on Captain Marvel? That game's fun. Recently saw Millennium Actress and I absolutely adore it. Ooh, I'll have to check it out. It's an animated movie? All right, I'll have to check that out. Ron low-key called for a guillotine? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But he did it by implication, you see. Like a mobster. John Carpenter wants to do the effects, but not the directing? That'd be interesting. If nothing else, I think John Carpenter doing a score for a Dead Space movie would be amazing. I'm not sure how much his heart's in directing these days, but he loves making music. I mean, I'm honestly not sure who I would choose to do Dead Space right now. It would obviously, I would want it to be someone who's actually played the games. And I'm not sure what filmmaker in the action horror realm that would be. All I know about recent Blade stuff is that he helped Moon Knight train his vampire secretary to how to fight like a vampire. Nice. Nice. Can't go wrong with that. I'm watching the remake of Nosferatu right now, the Herzog film. Nice. Speaking of Carpenter, did you see that he's apparently attached to making a video game currently? Nice. We'll see how that turns out. He certainly wouldn't be the first filmmaker who's attached himself to a video game. Here's hoping it's good. I know that man loves himself some video games. John Carpenter has been killing it with his scores of the David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even his Firestarter score was pretty good. Movie, not so much, but the score was pretty good. Yeah, I would agree, Liam. It's a zombie game? All right, that sounds about right. Ooh, the director of The Raid. That's a good choice. I'd watch his Dead Space movie. Fuck yeah. Was it Gareth Evans? Is that his name? It's something like that. The director who did the Blood Rain movie? Oh, God. Uwe Boll, the man whose filmmaking career died when the tax loop incentive he used to make movies died. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando? I'll be there with bells on. Jamming out to the music. All right, so quick question for everyone who's been watching the stream so far. Upstairs, there's been a lot of banging and clanging and slamming of doors and stuff because they're moving a bunch of furniture in. Have you guys been able to hear it? If not, then this new microphone was a great investment. I just checked Gareth Evans' IMDb, and there's a film coming out with Tom Hardy called Havoc he did. Nice. I'll have to check that out. Haven't heard anything yet? Excellent. Good to hear. All right. Thank you all for that insight. Then everything's working as intended.
I am very pleased.
Oh, man. You hear the music? Nice. And if you are watching the stream right now and are wondering what music you are listening to right now, it is music by Karl Casey, aka White Bat Audio, who does royalty-free synthwave music intended for both streams and for content creation. I link in the description of this stream to his YouTube channel, but he also has a Bandcamp and a Spotify account that you can check out for yourself if you like the music you're hearing. What do you think of the House on Haunted Hill remake? Are we talking about like the one from the 90s, or are we talking about a different one? Because if you're talking the one from the 90s, I think that movie has its moments. Jeffrey Rush is pretty good in that movie. The effects in that movie aren't very good, though. Yeah, I love Karl Casey's stuff, too. He's become... Him and the synthwave stuff from Stream Beats have been my primary go-to background music for most of my videos now. The 90s movie? Yeah. I think that movie has its moments. I think Jeffrey Rush is pretty good, but the effects at the end of the movie are pretty bad. William Castle original with Vincent Price is pretty classic. Horror Guru in chat, have you seen a TV show called Todd and the Book of Pure Evil? Fuck yeah! That's a great Canadian gem of a show. If you like Ash vs. the Evil Dead, you should check out Todd and the Book of Pure Evil. If you like movies like Deathgasm, you should check out Todd and the Book of Pure Evil. Back in the 1990s, on Comedy Central's Daily Show, there was a masked character called Lord Viper Scorpion that used a demonic voice. He would say, "I'm going to put my evil inside you."
I'm gonna put my evil inside you.
Yeah, I recommend checking out that show. I think it's only like 3 seasons or something at this point. It got canceled a long time ago, but it's a fun show. I had to use his music before for cutting trailers together. Nice. For indie films? Sweet. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Deathgasm. I'm actually ashamed. I feel so bad that director lost his shit and kind of like fucked over his career, because I really liked Deathgasm and I really wanted to see Deathgasm 2, but the dude had to go like full racist on Twitter, and so I don't think anyone wants to fund his movies anymore. But hey, guy made his choice. What can you do? But Deathgasm and Guns Akimbo, which are both the same guy, fun movies. Super a blast. The giant peen episode sent me to the hospital from pure laughter. Nice. That's great. Oh, man. All right, guys. I think I'm going to give this stream another 8 or so minutes. That'll be a nice hour-long stream. So if you have any final questions for these last 8 minutes, start throwing them my way, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Yeah, the director's an egotistical shithead too. Yes, exactly. Exactly what you're saying. Great minds. Oh, God. I forgot about the dead meat thing. Yeah, he tried to take down the dead meat kill count on Deathgasm, which was just so fucking shitty. Yeah. Great movies. Shitty ass director who's basically tanked his own career. So, and it's too bad. I used to get along with him on Twitter too, but you know, some people are getting their own way. Peace out, Neon Ghost Wolf. Have a nice sleep. That's a weird way to put it, but sleep well, my friend. Got my Hellfire Club water container. Who's the tall, faceless man standing behind you, Guru? That is my conscience. He is telling me to...
Eat your brains.
You know, it is what it is. What did you think of Chucky Season 2? I enjoyed it. We never did vlogs on it because I was the only one who watched it. Jack was just too busy. But I really enjoyed Season 2 of Chucky. I love that they did that straight up, like... They did it. First off, they did that entire plot line that was a sequel to Seed of Chucky, which I love Seed of Chucky, so I'm glad they did that. But also, the entire episode that was a reunion for Bound, perfect. The director of Deathgasm, he was the visual effects supervisor on Shang-Chi. All right, so he's still working. Just not making Deathgasm sequels now. Hey, Guru, Dead by Daylight movie? Hey, I mean, I'd be interested to see how that turns out. I was not the greatest fan of the game, but I do like all the cool cameos the game did. Like the little, hey, like having Ash on it. Pretty cool. Which fictional character do you think The Vengeful One by Disturbed perfectly describes? Ooh. Ghost Rider, maybe? Or maybe the song Hell by Disturbed actually fits Ghost Rider better. I absolutely love Chucky Season 2, probably my favorite thing in the Chucky universe. They had the right blend of serious slasher and over-the-top campy comedy. Yeah, that's what I loved about it too. Yeah, I'm assuming Dead by Daylight's going to be a slasher. That would just make the most sense. You could say he gassomed out. Hey, Guru, ever seen the Day of the Dead show? Nope, never seen it. Can't say I have. Yeah, oh, Nick Cage. That's who it was. They put Nick Cage in the game. Yeah, which was pretty cool. And they've also had like Leatherface and like Michael Myers and Freddy at one point. That stuff's all cool. The core gameplay of that game never really appealed to me. I was way more of a Friday the 13th the game fan, where you can actually go around slashing people the whole time. That to me was what was fun. And Dead by Daylight's gameplay just never did anything to me. Plus, every time I play that game, the player base for that game was just so fucking toxic. It really killed the vibe for me. It's like way more competitive than Friday the 13th was. And I just didn't like that. Blumhouse is doing a Dead by Daylight movie, so the legal team is going to have to loop to get the rights of all the characters. That makes sense. I'm assuming they're not going to use all like the cameo stuff. They're probably just going to use the core characters, the base characters of the game, and not the DLC. Favorite franchise, Alien or Predator? Alien's probably my favorite of the two, but Predator might have more solid movies overall. Like, it might have more movies that are solid. Whereas my favorite movies are probably Aliens and Alien. But Predator has multiple movies that are better than most of the Alien movies. If that makes sense. I love Chucky, and I don't know he's the real horror queer icon. He's the weird queer horror icon. Even has John Waters' seal of approval. It's true. Well, it's because Chucky was just straight up created by a queer guy. And so over time, because it's been the same writer from the beginning, he's just injected more queerness into Chucky as a storyline until you get to the show and they're just straight up queer characters now, which is pretty cool. I got sick of Day of the Dead after the terrible sequel and remake they made to it. Fair. They're doing that with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre now. Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. It's the same people who made Friday the 13th, so I'm probably going to enjoy it more. I used to like Dead by Daylight when it was more multiplayer survival horror, more akin to Friday the 13th. Nice. It's a shame what happened to Friday the 13th game, though. Yeah. Like the legal battle surrounding that franchise killed that game, and it's really unfortunate. It was a rare case where I found myself siding with the producer over the writer, which is rare. I rarely feel that way. But Friday the 13th was a case where I'm just like, well, yeah, but you didn't actually create, like, most of the stuff that's iconic about this character. You created this proto thing. But that's a story for another day. I hated playing that game. I hated playing that game online. Everyone was screaming at me. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. And I was just like, nah, no, thank you. Anyway, my fellow Gorehounds, it has officially been an hour. I hope you enjoyed this stream so far. If you had any questions that I didn't get to, save them for whenever I do my next stream, which I don't know when it's going to happen, but it'll probably happen sometime this week. I hope you all have a great Sunday. And remember to stay awesome. And also remember,
I can eat your soul. Peace out.